Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. This is a daily analysis for Bitcoin. Today we're gonna start on the 1 hour chart for the daily because I want to analyze all this price action from the beginning, of course, and step by step to see what we are having here for Bitcoin. And of course, later we're gonna move for a little bit higher time frame to see again the possibilities. So basically what we have after this low. Now this low has started, of course, after a potential impulse here where we have 1, 2, and then potentially 3, 4, and a 5, wave 1, wave 2, another 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for a wave 3, ABC for a wave 4, and then of course 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, or even if you want to consider it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 with a low here, finish as well as an impulse over there, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a very clear impulse finished. And of course, it can be impulsive for a direction downward, especially that you have here kind of like an ABC. Now, this is hard to call it, of course, kind of like an impulsive wave. We already analyzed this. Your only impulse can be found over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have an ABC for a running flat, wave B, and then moving towards the upside. Because if you have to consider this as another 1, 2 here, this is your wave 3, whereas your wave 4 and a 5, and you have already 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So there are missing 4 5s there to call these as impulse, right? Now, after this, if this is a corrective wave followed by an impulse, well, it has failed even to take the low, which is a question mark. How an impulse, again, of course, failing to take the low. It can be, of course, when you have a big wave 1, 2 here, and a smaller 1, 2 for the wave 3, 4, and a 5, which is your major wave 3. So that opens on the micro level a possibility, of course, for lower prices. However, in this price here, after of course this low, we saw again a very long sideways range, which is a very complex, I would say, to be an impulse as a 1, 2. Now, it can be, of course, that the market is very bullish. It has a lot of sentiments for higher prices, and it can, of course, simply move for higher here. After having a potential wave 1, very small wave 1 over there, and then W, X, and a wave Y. Wave Y can be a triangle because anyway, you're not allowed to have a triangle in a wave 2. Yeah, so we have to consider it at least W, X, and Y very complex, which is very rare case scenario to have a complex structure in a wave 2, because when you are bullish, you move confidently toward the upside with a 1, 2. Therefore, 1, 2 preferably to be a zigzag, preferably to be a flat, very simple structure and not very complex structure like this one, because complex structure appears normally after a massive move, where the price start to range sideways to find the correction, and then of course moving toward the upside. Normally this doesn't happen in wave 2, but if this is the case that the market wants to be bullish here and to see higher prices, well, we cannot change that, right? So the things has started to move upward very impulsively, I would say, knowing that you cannot consider this leg as a single impulse, and that because of course your wave 3 is the shortest here between the wave 5 and the wave 1, which is not allowed. Therefore, you have to consider kind of like 1, 2, 1, 2, wave 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5. If this is happening, it can be, of course. Now, if this also is a 1, 2, meaning you're still looking for 4, 5. And from here, it comes the answer for this structure that is going on here, which is very tricky, I would say, starting from the beginning, right? If we are in an impulse, it can be, of course, having another 4, 5. So I'm expecting one more high, definitely here, because we might be in 1, 2, 1, 2, wave 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. And then you might expect, of course, a very long sideways, because you have also a very long time range here, wave 2. But as alternation, actually, I'm expecting even a deeper one. So a deeper correction downward, which it might take also time in case we are bullish, and then moving toward the upside, one more leg. And that means, of course, a reflection for your wave 1 or one more wave 5. That means it is an impulse. If this happens, that means an impulse. If we get one more high, a correction, and one more high, that means, okay, finally we got an answer. It is an impulse, wave 1, wave 2 again, and then 3, 4, 5, continuation towards the upside. If the price moves again impulsively from after this high, one more high, that means, of course, this is an A or W, X and a Y, or an ABC, of course, zigzag, where you might have an impulse here as explained as well, wave B, which it might be a triangle here, and then moving as well as a wave C in 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Okay, so yeah, it is very bullish. Of course, it looks very bullish as sentiment because, of course, the indicators we already mentioned from this area that the indicator shows a lot of potential for higher prices. Don't be surprised if we see this. It is Bitcoin, of course, and it is crypto market. It has always potential for buying here more than selling. But at the end, of course, there are a lot of pressures this time for sellers from the top. However, the bulls will appear always, often, of course, even during a correction. And it might show up, of course, some potential of reversal, but still, of course, question mark if they will succeed. The success for this bullish reversal has to be given first by a new high, which it can be today. Second, by having a longer range correction somehow like this, and then having another wave 5. This is a success of a bullish scenario unfolding, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. After this, the direction of the market has changed. We call it, of course, that a bullish scenario might be unfolding. The direction of the market has reversed toward the upside, looking for correction wave 2, and then continuation very, very bullish towards higher prices for new all-time high. So these are my expectations for Bitcoin today. I'm expecting a little bit higher here. Definitely this is a wave 5 here. Still, of course, looking impulsive somehow, knowing that I don't like it. It looks like 3 waves here. But I mentioned yesterday on the 5-minute chart that, okay, you have to consider this probability is, okay, very rare as an expanding diagonal, and then ABC for a wave 2, meaning expanding diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, and then moving for a wave 3, wave 4. Wave 5 is an ending diagonal looking for one more high. Okay, so currently we are in definitely ending diagonal, right? And we're looking for a little bit higher for Bitcoin to see, of course, a finished structure here. And we will see, of course, the answer, the final answer will be given in this correction, or if it is an impulse. If it is an impulse, we're coming back, of course, to an ABC or WX and Y. We continue the trend 1, 2, and then in our blue box, of course, as a wave 2 here, and then moving simply toward the downside. All right, so let's move to the daily here. This is regarding, of course, the micro level, what it might happen today, and what are the possibilities. For the daily here, as bullish scenario, I'm still looking for one bullish scenario that it might be unfolding. Now, if I'm unfolding something bullish from there, the only possibility is to have, of course, an ending diagonal for an ABC, meaning if you are in the orange scenario, A, B, and a C, you can be here in a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5. The wave 3 has to be an ABC zigzag toward the upside, which is an impulse correction impulse. And if this has to be considered somehow an impulse, well, we already analyzed it. It's horrible to be an impulse. But of course, if something like a deviation is happening here or breaking for the rules in the chart, it depends on the market. In crypto market is always somehow very chaotic. However, if it is an ABC, and if this succeed today to be, of course, kind of like an impulse as mentioned, therefore, okay, we can call this scenario again for bullish. For, of course, a little bit higher, you might take, of course, the new high around the 125K, 120K. But a very low possibility because, of course, of the structure here. I don't see a very clear impulse. And, of course, the answer will be given, after all, in this wave today, and the new highs and the correction after it, in case we get a correction. Another possibility for the bullish that I'm looking for before moving to the bearish that I'm looking for is this, of course, structure there. which is, of course, an ending diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to finish a major wave 5 in our bull run. Meaning, our bull run is 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in an ending diagonal. This ending diagonal has to be, of course, 5 waves as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Currently, you are in the wave 4. The wave 4 has started already in a motive wave, a leading diagonal, wave A, wave B, given already analyzed that it is a corrective structure, already analyzed that this is an impulse, and currently we are wondering if this is going to turn into correction or to an impulse to, of course, change the direction of the market. Because the direction of the market right now is, of course, downward, since we have motive wave, downward, correction so far. And that means, of course, if this is going to end up as a correction, we might see continuation for the market downward. And I'm looking, of course, for the blue box as an ABC at least in 1-to-1 fib level, 101K, and then moving toward the upside for a wave 5, of course, as an ending diagonal, which it might be, of course, in this blue box around the 135K, 147K. Further signal for this potential scenario is unfolding is today, of course, price action. Getting one more high and getting, of course, after it, an impulse downward. If we get this, therefore, of course, this scenario is unfolding for a potential wave 4. Now, if we break it, if we break this level and we see further downtrend, well, okay, we have to call the bearish scenario. All the bullish scenario are, of course, eliminated. And we left with only bearish scenario, which is, of course, the A, B, and a C expanding flat downward. The expanding flat is a 1, 2, which we already have on our chart already formation of it. Currently, this play as a 1, 2 for your wave 3, 4, and a 5, which is going to be your main wave 3. Then having a correction for a wave 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 towards lower prices. 70K can be, of course, a very potential target around the very strong area here, which is a support. Looking at a wave 2 here, because you have finished wave 1 as a bull run here, and you're moving, of course, towards the 200K here for Bitcoin, because, of course, this is a new bull run unfolding after a bear market. Very special bear market expanding flat, never seen in Bitcoin history, which of course gave us an opportunity here for higher prices to reach, of course, around the 119K, 126K, which are around the 1.23, 1.38, taken from the A to the B. Perfect fib levels for wave B here. Yeah. And these are the possibilities, guys. So today, answers will, of course, the micro level will give us answers even for the macro level, what it might happen. Are we going for lower or are we heading for higher? We need to see on the 2 hours chart. I repeat, one more high. Let me turn on this one. One more high, okay, to finish this ending diagonal somehow. And the answer that we get after it, if we get a correction in a very long sideways, that means, of course, a reflection or alternation for this wave 2, which is very complex. It might be a zigzag, by the way, so we gotta be careful. But if we see an impulse continuation for lower, taking our testing area again and passing it or overshooting it, well, we have to consider definitely, of course, a bearish scenario, at least starting with the A, B, and a C, which is, of course, the wave 4 as an ending diagonal, testing our zone here between the 100K, 102K for ending diagonal, right? Wave 4 here, ending diagonal, and then moving up for wave 5 in case, of course, this area will unfold something bullish. Yep, so that was it for Bitcoin for the daily. Very deep analysis today, a little bit from the micro to the macro, and of course to understand what's going on, guys. That was it for Bitcoin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.